All right, y'all. We back with another reaction right here on ABP Reactions, and this one is called Sexyy Red Experiment Has Officially Failed. Are they saying that her career is over? Or are they saying that other girls, female rappers like her, won't be able to exist and make it like she did? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what they're talking about.
Now, Sexyy Red, just over a year ago, was one of the most popular new female rappers in the entire industry. After receiving a massive marketing push, it really looked like she was unstoppable. But now, it seems like the Sexyy Red experiment might have failed. Or has it? Let's talk about it. Sexyy Red is a 27-year-old rapper from St. Louis, Missouri, who broke into the mainstream back in late 2023 after her song Pound Town went viral. After the success of that record, she later secured a remix with Nicki Minaj, and that same year, Drake featured her on his album. From there, it looked like nothing could stop Sexyy Red. Her music was everywhere, she was trending nonstop. She became the new face of a certain kind of female rap energy, raw, unapologetic, and in your face. However, during her rise, we saw a lot of what I would call dysfunctional behavior. Something I actually dove into in my 30-minute documentary last year, The Dysfunction of Sexyy Red. Among many things we had...
Nah. That little shit was light work. All the shit you was seeing with her and her dude and all that. That's light work. I don't know. Let's keep watching, though. Let's see, man. What's the narrative here? You trying to slander Sexyy Red? Because she's still going up. She's doing her thing.
Situations like the teacher incident. Back in November 2023, a young ballet teacher went viral after expressing frustration about her students singing along to one of Sexyy Red's most explicit songs, which was, of course, Pound Town.
Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking, can we hear Pound Town?
A normal reaction, especially coming from a woman who works with children every single day and understands what it's like growing up as a young girl herself. Now, she was simply pointing out the negative influence that songs like that could have on young kids. But instead of reflecting on something which was pretty fair criticism, Sexyy Red brushed it off, replying, "Girl, shut the hell up and play my song." And that moment right there said...
What type of response would you expect from Sexyy Red? She ghetto as a motherfucker. What?
A lot. Because the dysfunction wasn't in just what she said. It was in her complete inability to recognize her music, while profitable, is also inappropriate for the children who idolize her. And then when that teacher spoke up, she was ridiculed, while Sexyy Red kept on climbing. Then there was the school visit. Just a few weeks after, Sexyy Red made headlines again, and that time it was after reportedly getting kicked out of a school in her hometown of St. Louis for smelling like marijuana. She later reacted in a very angry way after the school actually turned her away and essentially told her, hey, you can't be here because you smell like Mary J. And Sexyy Red was saying that she just wanted to speak to the kids.
So this school put me, I came up here, got you, trying to talk to the kids, getting the word of that, they gonna put me all on me. Tell me I smell like weed, watch this. My job hard. Every day I'm fighting for my life, every day. Trying to put me out from this school, I'm coming back around.
And the question a lot of people had was, wait a second, why are you showing up to a school smelling like weed? Regardless of if you were...
That is kind of burnt out, though. I ain't gonna lie, Sexyy Red. That is kind of burnt out. That you up here smoking, you know you about to go speak to kids in high school, and you over here hotboxing in the car, and then you getting mad that they saying, hey, you can't come around these kids smelling like weed. It ain't even nothing to talk about. You shouldn't even be mad about that. Now that, I agree on. You shouldn't be mad about that.
Invited or not. And that kind of thing definitely made it clear that Sexyy Red was very detached from basic accountability. Instead of leaving, she actually decided to turn up outside the school with a crowd of students.
St. Louis native known for her raunchy lyrics, making national headlines over a recent performance outside of a rally that was for kids. Well, national recording artist Sexyy Red, whose name is Janae Wary, drawing criticism tonight over her behavior and performance after a student rally Wednesday at Chafin.
Oh, now that part I didn't know. They banned her from coming in there, and she said, fuck it, nigga. I'm finna make them come outside, and I'm finna turn up for their ass.
The organization involved telling First Alert 4 tonight she was never even invited.
Despite being told not to be on the property. Obviously, that's the kind of thing any regular person would have faced real consequences for, but...
let me know what y'all think about that. What? That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Like, they're not out of pocket for telling you, you know, you smell like weed, go home. That's not a good, you know, you know, the kids look up to you, and that says a lot. We letting you come in school smelling like weed, and is gonna inspire them. They probably already smoking weed or thinking about smoking weed, and if they see you doing it, they're gonna think it's cool, and they're gonna probably do it. It do be like that. But staying after the school after they ask you to leave, and then you throwing a whole concert and rapping super provocative language with your leg up to high school kids. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
You're famous, rich, and poppin'. Consequences don't always apply. Now, this pattern actually continued because after this came the 4C hair comments. Now, in a clip posted to Instagram, Sexyy Red actually showed off her straightened hair, and she mocked women with 4C hair. For anyone who doesn't know what 4C hair is, it's essentially the natural hair type that most black women have. And Sexyy Red, she posted this photo of herself and said, "You carpet hair beanie neck hoes could never." And then she obviously got backlash for this.
And I just hate the fact that we make fun of things that we cannot change. We cannot change hair texture. And it's sad because this is who's in the mainstream media talking like this. And a lot of people are growing up having her as a role model for whatever reason. And they're going to start saying carpet hair. It's already a search in TikTok is carpet hair.
All this shit is showing me is how much I be out the loop when it comes to Sexyy Red. I ain't saw none of this shit. Sexyy Red got shit going on. People, hey man, listen. All her shit, her shows and her music outweighs all this shit because I don't see none of this shit. I don't know. This must be like some TikTok shit.
The hair texture that you have does not determine how beautiful you are. What your face looks like really doesn't determine how beautiful you are. It's your aura, it's your personality that determines how beautiful you are.
And then when that backlash came, she responded in a very distasteful way. And she said, "I fuck with carpet hair, but would still call women that if they talked smack." Obviously not the smartest move because, you know, the majority of her fan base is actually made up of the same black women that she was shading. And also, it's like you're a black woman yourself and you have this hair type yourself naturally. And just because you strain that hair that one time, that doesn't really take away from the fact that you naturally have that hair type. You get what I'm saying? So that's the kind of thing that...
Ooh, we live in a sensitive ass time. That's all this video is showing me. It's kind of cringe as fuck. This is the most sensitive reaction video I've ever watched in my fucking life. He's just too sensitive. Goddamn, people can't say nothing no more. People can't fucking, you can't clown, you can't roast, you can't bag, you can't joke. Everybody gets so butthurt. Oh, she's talking about the texture of our hair. Like, nigga, she's just clowning. Nigga, it's a joke. You know what I mean? Like, damn, motherfuckers take everything too deep, bruh.
Kind of comes across as like, you know what they call it? Internalized hatred. And this is what made it very ironic because Sexyy Red's entire brand was always built on exaggerating the same negative stereotypes of black women that she herself insulted. But then we also have the viral tape. And in October 2023, Sexyy Red accidentally posted a private tape on her Instagram story. I'm sure you probably know what that private tape was, right?
Now, people said that you leaked your sex tape on purpose.
Mm-hmm. It was on Instagram, like a little short clip video. And then through the phone, and it got accidentally pressed like that.
She later claimed on an interview with The Breakfast Club that it wasn't intentional, but anyone with a functioning brain can tell that it was. The timing, the context, the way it boosted her visibility all point to this being part of the marketing strategy. Because remember, her biggest song, Pound Town, literally revolves around her body and sexuality, okay? So when the world suddenly gets visual evidence connected to those lyrics, what do you think happens? A viral storm. And this kind of thing is part of building a brand identity in today's industry. Not just for Red, but for any artist trying to connect their image to a specific idea or aesthetic. It's very profitable and it works. In this case, we have shock, scandal, and controversy.
Oh my God, bro. This new era is soft. God damn. You over here complaining because you showed some pussy on IG? You over here complaining, man? It's a scandal. It's a scandal. Why would she do that? Oh my God, bro.
The core of that identity. And in this situation, none of it was an accident. It was all strategy. This is how an artist gets branded, sold, and introduced.
Or she's just a freak bitch. Why she can't just be a freak bitch that wanted to, hey, I was drunk, I wanted to show y'all what I'm working with. Shit. Nigga, shit. I'm over here throwing it back. She was just feeling herself. Shit.
To the public by the record labels. And like a lot of us know, the more extreme the image is, the more attention it draws. And the more attention it draws, the more money it makes for the people behind the scenes. But here's the most worrying part about all of this. A huge portion of her audience is made up of children, specifically young black girls who look up to her, imitate her, and see her as a representation of what confidence looks like. And so when those same girls watch a public figure leak her own tape
Sexyy Red
and then
lit,
pretend
nigga.
it was an accident, it sends a dangerous message.
Man, shut up. Sexyy Red is lit, nigga. Everybody fuck with Sexyy Red. Stop it, bro. You doing too much.
That attention is worth more than dignity. When it comes to being a public figure, no matter how you look at it, there is a level of responsibility that comes with that. With great power comes great responsibility. And it's not about being perfect 24/7 or operating like a role model every second of the day, but at least being conscious of how your actions land and who they actually speak to is very important. Now, in Sexyy Red's case, I never expected that kind of responsibility from her, at least based on how she moved up until that point. But that's exactly the point here. The industry knew that. They knew she wasn't going to filter herself or self-correct or think about the impact that her negative actions are having on people, the world, and the youth. And in a way, that's what made her the perfect candidate for this experiment. Because before Sexyy Red was handpicked...
You know you can always just cut her music off, right? Nobody's putting a gun in your head and saying, listen to Sexyy Red's music. Just cut the shit off. It's that simple. Nobody is putting a gun to your head and tell you to listen to no artist music out here. If you don't like somebody, just don't listen to them. It's that fucking simple. Why do people got to act like an artist has to act a certain type of way and be this type of way for this type of fan base or this type of demographic? Like, nigga, I'm not here for y'all. I'm just doing me. Now, whoever take a liking to what I do, salute. But I'm not here trying to win you motherfuckers over. I'm just being me. I'm being organic. I'm being authentic. I'm making music that I'm like, nigga, I'm creating my art. If you become a fan of it, thank you. But if you got a problem with it, don't listen to it.
Listen to what I just said here, okay? Hand-picked to be elevated to the spotlight. There's a very real process that happens behind the scenes. Personalities of this type don't just blow up by accident. Their image, their behavior, all of it is observed, analyzed, and measured by the people who decide who gets pushed and who doesn't. And this explains something a lot of people have wondered about for years, which is, why do so many public figures suddenly explode in popularity, yet seem to completely lack a moral compass? Why do the most chaotic, reckless, or controversial artists get the biggest push? That's not by accident. How it works is this. Labels, investors, and media companies collectively look for what's profitable, not what's healthy, uplifting, or balanced. They look for personalities that can generate attention, even if that attention comes from dysfunction. Because
yeah, okay, I see what's going on here. No. I ain't gonna cut this off. I'm gonna keep reacting to this because I see what's going on here. I gotta stand up for Sexyy Red here, nigga, because you one of them type niggas that's gonna sit here and bravo Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean is a GOAT. He's a legend. He's da. Look at the message he's pushing. Look at what he represents. Sexyy Red just saying, I'm a freak. I'm out here. I like fucking. I'm a ratchet bitch. I represent that. But since it ain't the way you want to hear it, and she ain't rapping in the way that you think she should say it, or dressing the way she should dress, or posting what you think she should post, like you trying to control her, man, let her be her. Control your fucking kids, nigga. How the fuck you saying, oh, you're being a bad role model to kids? Control your kids, nigga, what they watch, nigga. You can monitor their shit. You can control their YouTube. You can control their goddamn iPads. You can control everything. Monitor your kids, nigga.
attention is currency, and someone who doesn't self-reflect or set boundaries is easier to brand, easier to manipulate, and easier to push into extreme directions. And during that evaluation process, a lot of questions get asked behind the scenes. Questions like who can push the public's buttons the most, who can trigger the strongest reactions, who will go the furthest without questioning the impact. That's why I felt like Sexyy Red was being extra provocative during her blow-up period. It wasn't random. It wasn't accidental. It was very planned. It was orchestrated in a way that maximized shock, maximized virality.
She was like that before she popped off, nigga. What are you talking about? Her and Suki Hana was going crazy doing ratchet-ass songs. Doing ratchet-ass videos. They was burnt the fuck out. You talking about she was doing that on purpose when she got signed. Man, come on, man.
And maximized profit. And despite all that dysfunction, it seemed like she just kept going up. Every controversy, every viral moment. Instead of things slowing down, it almost felt like it was fueling her career even more. And my theory has always been that there's of course a reason for that. See, I personally think that Sexyy Red was getting this push for one main reason: to promote a very specific image, a very negative one, because in a world where media has always shaped how we view people, especially black people,
Where y'all think this nigga from, man? Where do y'all think this nigga is from watching it, that's reacting and slandering her right now? I'm really listening to his voice and I'm like, wait a minute, this nigga probably not even from here, bro. I'm really listening to his voice like, hold on, this nigga might be from overseas on some hater shit. Or he's from Gaytopia.
Sexyy Red became a tool for the music industry to push a modern version of one of the oldest and most damaging stereotypes about black women. I'm talking about the Jezebel stereotype. Dating back to slavery, this stereotype painted black women as hypersexual, uncontrollable, and defined entirely by their bodies. It was a complete lie that was used to justify the exploitation and abuse of black women for generations, and somehow that same imagery is still being recycled today, just packaged with beats and marketing. And hip-hop has always been an art form to empower black voices. However, it has unfortunately been hijacked to do the opposite. And Sexyy Red, whether she realizes or not, became the face of that.
Tell us you hate pussy without telling us you hate pussy, nigga. God damn. Why are you so mad at Sexyy Red and her provocative music? You know what I'm saying? I see her actions. Yeah, I can see you talk about that. But you just talk about her music. Like, it's an art form, bro. It's motherfuckers out here that make rock and roll music and you don't give it a second of your time. You can do the same with her music. Don't give it a second of your time. You don't got to listen. You don't have to. Like, what you think I'm supposed to switch it up for you, nigga? Who the fuck is you?
Entire brand, her lyrics, her visuals, and even the way she's promoted. It all fed into that same narrative, that the only way a black woman can be seen, celebrated, or go viral is by being sexualized, loud, and reckless. And Red eventually became very successful. She's undoubtedly generated a whole lot of money for the music industry. And for a while, the experiment worked. But now things are starting to shift.
Sounds like a hater, y'all. Sounds like a hater.
A lot of you guys might have noticed how Sexyy Red isn't being talked about nearly as much as before. And there's a few reasons for that. Now let's take it back. Take it way back to how it all started. Before Sexyy Red took off, she was discovered by a Miami-based label and management company called Rebel Music back in 2021. They came across some of her early songs and decided to sign her. Her A&R executive stated that once she got off the plane and I heard her voice, I knew she was a star. Fast forward to mid-2023, the peak of her blow-up, and Gamma, a new media company, stepped in to handle her distribution. Now let's talk a little bit about Gamma, because this was the company behind her true rise.
Larry Jackson, come on. Larry Jackson discovered Chief Keef, a gang of different motherfuckers. He was over at Interscope. Shout out Larry Jackson, man.
This company was founded by a Larry Jackson. Some of you guys in the music industry might know who this is. He actually spent 7 years as Apple Music's global creative director before leaving in 2022 to start Gamma, a company that claims to create, distribute, and market content focused on black culture. And according to Larry Jackson himself, that focus on black culture isn't just a slogan, it's the entire pitch. Because when Gamma was launched, it wasn't some small experimental startup. They actually came out the gate backed by $1 billion in financing. And the question is, where did they get that money from? We'll get to that in a second. And this money was apparently being put to work, particularly and acutely, on black culture. So $1 billion dedicated specifically to black culture. Interesting. Now, Larry Jackson is a very much recognized name in the music industry. Most people, whether it's managers, artists, or anyone else who actually works in the music industry, most times they know who he is, right? Billboard even named Larry Jackson the R&B and hip-hop executive of the year. They described him as someone who's able to bring things to life, with artists like Travis Scott praising the way he moves.
Larry Jackson is the man. That I will say. He's the man. He's the man.
He's been getting a lot of cosigns from a lot of very prominent artists as well. And one of the first big moves the company Gamma that he started made was facilitating a deal where TikTok's 1 billion plus users got exclusive access to the entire Death Row catalog, which included Snoop Dogg's classic Doggy Style album and the late Tupac's All Eyes on Me as well. Now right here, Larry Jackson demonstrated exactly the kind of pull he and his company Gamma actually has and what it's apparently built to do. Use massive capital, massive access, and massive cultural leverage to shape what the general public, but especially black audiences, consume and how they consume it. Now, when you understand that, Sexyy Red's rise starts looking a lot less organic and a lot more like a calculated extension of that mission. Now, alongside Larry Jackson, we also have Ike Yusuf, Gamma's president. Now, Ike previously worked at Interscope Records as a CFO, Chief Financial Officer, and he holds degrees in business, economics, and accounting. So his background is strictly corporate, not creative. Together, these two essentially built Gamma to be a hybrid between a label and a media powerhouse. And Sexyy Red quickly became one of their biggest test cases, the face of a very calculated experiment that combined viral marketing, controversy, and cultural packaging under the banner of representation. But here's where things get interesting. The largest investor in Gamma isn't someone from the culture at all. It's Todd Boehly, a 52-year-old American businessman of German heritage who's worth over $8 billion. So now it actually starts to make sense where they got that initial billion from, right? So the main investor behind a company that claims to focus on black culture is a white billionaire who also happens to co-own Los Angeles Dodgers and Chelsea Football Club.
Hey, man, welcome to America, man. Welcome to America. These motherfuckers own everything, nigga. They own everything, in case you didn't know. This platform you on right now, nigga, talking on, nigga, they own this shit too.
And, that's kind of where the dots start to connect. Because one of the biggest questions people had when Sexyy Red started popping up everywhere was how? Like, how is all this possible? How does someone with that kind of image suddenly get this massive push from every direction? Well, now it should make sense to you. When you realize that the machine behind Sexyy Red included a billionaire investor worth nearly $9 billion, a major media company with deep Apple Music ties, and a label infrastructure designed to amplify controversy, it starts painting a very clear picture. And this is something Candace Owens actually...
Man, you're taking away from the fact that people loved her music too. People did love her music. It's certain shit that they could pump and force you to like, but Sexyy Red definitely was making music that was girls was taking a liking to organically. You know when it's like music that's being forced. Now, who I would say is Saweetie. Her music be being forced out there. It be being pushed down your throat on radio and shit like that. No shade to her. Shout out to her. But you could tell that's label-driven music compared to like Sexyy Red shit. Like all the strippers, everybody take her music and be running her shit up. All the hood bitches, all the bitches, the ratchet bitches, you know what I mean? That's her demographic. That's who she talks to. She's the voice of them. And they love it.
Spoke about some time back as well.
Gamma has a lot of power. I'll tell you why Gamma has a lot of power. Because the two individuals that started Gamma, one of them came out of Apple. His name is Larry Jackson. And the second one of them came from Interscope Records. He has a ton of clout in the record community, the music community industry, so to speak. And his name is Ike Yusuf.
This makes all the sense in the world. So he fucked with Candace Owens. It's giving those vibes a nigga who fucked with Candace Owens making this video. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, nigga, you ain't one of us, nigga. You look like us, color like us, but you ain't one of us, nigga.
Larry Jackson, who I mentioned before, is black. And he is the person that I am more interested in.
For anyone who doesn't recognize the face or name, Candace Owens is an American political commentator and author, and a self-labeled conservative activist. Now, she's covered a lot of these same connections, pointing out how the entertainment industry profits off of promoting chaos, dysfunction, and over-sexualization, especially when it comes to black artists. Now, interestingly enough, this connects to something rapper Ice Cube talked about on Bill Maher's podcast. Ice Cube spoke about the same kind of manipulation, which is what he called social engineering, where record labels act like gatekeepers, and he said that they essentially don't tell artists exactly what to say, but they make sure that the most destructive messages are the ones that get pushed to the top.
The records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison industry.
But they didn't make you write those lyrics.
It's not about making, it's not about...
Come on, Ice Cube. Let's go down your catalog, Ice Cube. Come on, man. Come on, Ice Cube. Let's not do that, bro. Let's not do that, bro.
Making somebody write the lyrics. It's about being there as guardrails to make sure certain songs make it through and certain songs don't.
And this is an idea we've explored conversationally over time, so it's nothing new, right? Now, Ice Cube was essentially saying, if you follow the money, you'll start noticing how the same people who own major record labels also have ownership stakes in private prisons. Now, that's another conversation I'll explore in depth in another video. Whether you believe what Ice Cube said or not, the underlying message underneath is very clear. The industry profits off of chaos, dysfunction, and division. And when you look at what gets the biggest push, the artists who glorify violence, crime, or hypersexuality.
Oh my God. Only the artists that talk about violence get the biggest push. This is crazy, man.
Starts to make a lot of sense, right? And this is how a lot of these experiments start. Now, for Sexyy Red, I think they decided to push the boundaries even further, especially when it comes to...
They get the biggest push. But who's the biggest artist, y'all? Drake and Kendrick Lamar, right? Travis Scott. So what the... Are they pushing gang violence music? What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
The raunchiness and shock value. Because here's the thing. We live in a time where, let's just say that people are extremely desensitized in all types of ways. Nothing surprises anyone anymore. So to grab everybody's attention, like to grab the attention of the public, you almost have to go to the extreme. You have to be louder, you have to be wilder, you have to be more provocative than the last person, or you'll get drowned out in the noise. And Sexyy Red became the perfect vessel for that strategy. Because one thing about the public is that we react to extremes. If you show us something that feels outrageous, controversial, or wild enough, it grabs our attention instantly. And in an experiment where attention equals profit, the industry keeps testing how far they can go. They take these sample sizes of artists.
This nigga's definitely on some Candace Owens shit, man. Yeah, I get what's going on. I'm going to react to it, though. I'm reacting to it. I can't just be, reacting to videos that only, have the same stance as me sometimes. I like to hear these type of motherfuckers out and hear what they talking about and how stupid they be sounding. You know what I mean?
Amplify the most polarizing ones and study what happens next. How people react, how the internet responds, how the controversy spreads. If it goes viral, they double down on that formula. If it doesn't, they move on to the next artist.
Suki, man.
That's exactly what we've seen happen in this case right here. Sexyy Red was a test subject for how far they could stretch the public's tolerance for dysfunction, for explicitness, for chaos, all while disguising it as authenticity. Now, what's happening right now with Sexyy Red, though, because she's obviously not getting the same marketing push that she was. Before we even get to Sexyy Red, we got to look at what's been happening in rap overall. Now, a few days ago, we talked about that Billboard report, the one showing that for the first time since the 90s, there wasn't a single rap song in the Hot 100's top 40. Rap's market share has been slipping for years. This is something a lot of people know, right? Labels aren't investing in hip-hop like they used to, and a lot of the newer sounds just aren't connecting with the public anymore. Meanwhile, country, Latin, Afrobeats, and pop are dominating. So the industry has shifted towards safe artists with guaranteed returns, meaning the machine has been, pulling back on rappers across the board, not just Sexyy Red. Now for Sexyy Red, she's undoubtedly an artist who's fueled by antics, and an artist in that category usually gets a huge marketing push during that initial discovery phase where the label throws everything at them to create momentum, and it works at first. It always does. But later on, things start to slow down because antics have an expiration date. That's just how it is. There's also a growing level of fatigue towards these characters who get pushed nonstop, not just in the music industry, but just in social media in general. And the reason for this fatigue, in my opinion, is because people today are way more conscious.
Man, fuck your opinion, man. How about that? God damn it. Fuck is you talking about, man? I get what he's saying. He trying to cook, man, but he doing like that surface level preaching shit. Like, all right, nigga, we get what you saying, nigga, but come on, bro. Like, she comes from the culture, bro. It's a lot of motherfuckers that come from the culture. Hip-hop, it comes from all the shit that goes on within the ghetto communities. They rap about what they see. They rap about what they love. They rap about what they hear. That ain't gonna never stop, bro. It's always gonna be motherfuckers coming out rapping provocative. You know what I'm saying? You can't sit here and try to, she's talking to, they tried to do that with Luke. Luke kicked the door down for everybody to talk provocative. Shout out to Uncle Luke, man. They try to stop that shit with everybody like, hey, stop cussing our children. No, you're using it as a weapon. You can tell your children don't listen to it, and you can make sure they don't listen to it. Even if you got to take the radios out their room back in the day, Or if you got to take their iPads or take their phones, then that's you. That's your job as a parent. Nigga, but goddamn, you can control what your kids listen to. I control what my kids listen to.
More self-aware, way more spiritually tuned in than they were in the past. Because here's the thing, I'm sure you know this, right? We're living in a time where there's so many things that are attacking our attention, our energy, and our peace. So people can feel when something is forced and when something is spiritually empty. Sexyy Red went through that period where she was being prioritized, where the machine was fully behind her, pushing her into every corner of the culture and industry. But things are a little different now. Just a year and some change later, that momentum isn't the same. The push isn't the same, and the public isn't reacting the same way they did before. And once the intensity of the reactions start to fade, what incentive does the industry have to keep pushing you and investing all this money into you? None. And there's also something to be said about the demographic that Sexyy Red was being marketed towards, which was primarily black women.
This nigga hates Sexyy Red, y'all. That's all this shit is telling me. He hates Sexyy Red, bruh. Cause you still ain't made your point, and like you act like she's just dead in the water. Like, people fuck with Sexyy Red. What are you talking about?
And based on the responses I've seen online, a lot of those same women who were initially hyped about her are starting to wake up to what's really going on. Not in a judgmental way, but in a self-awareness kind of way. Because once something reaches a certain level of exaggeration or dysfunction or straight up cartoonish behavior, people eventually recognize it for what it is. Now, personally, I think that all those black women should have realized, when she made those
All right, man. All right. I can't do it no more. Now you done called her shit cartoonish, exaggeration. Bro, everybody can tell that is authentically. That is Sexyy Red personality, bro. That's her. She is being 100% authentic her, bro. You can tell. You can see the vibe when you see her, nigga. Look at this point. She done had how much money now? Nigga, she still walk around looking ghetto as a motherfucker. She don't give a fuck. That is a naturally ghetto-ass bitch right there. You feel me? So I don't know what the fuck he talking about, man. Shout out Sexyy Red. Keep doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? Young Candace Owens Jr. right here. He hating on you, you know what I'm saying? He hating on you. I had to react to it. I had to, you know what I mean, see the other side of the hate gate. What these niggas got going on. They over there bashing her and shit, saying she bad for the... Man, listen, man. It ain't gonna stop, dog. Before her, it was City Girls. Before City Girls, it was other... You know what I mean? You had Trinas. You had Little Kims. You had all... It's never gonna stop, bro. That provocative rap ain't... These hood bitches, man. They ghetto. They like fucking. They like dancing in strip clubs. They like making music you shake your ass to. That shit ain't gonna never stop, man. Let me know what y'all think, though, about this video, man. If y'all don't fuck with it, bash that shit in the comment section right now. Middle fingers to the motherfucking... Middle fingers all up in the comment section, man. If y'all don't fuck with this nigga and what he talking about, man. But let me know something, man. Or if y'all do fuck with what he was saying, let me know what part y'all think he was right. What part was he hitting the nail on the head at? I'm going to give y'all 2 seconds to smash a like. And as always, get ready for the next reaction.